We're going to pick up this fight in round 6. Let's go back to Caesar's Palace and the battle between Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. This is round 6. Scheduled for 15. Benitez in the blue trunks, Sugar Ray Leonard in the white. The staring has continued at the end of each round. And certainly Sugar Ray Leonard has been a very confident challenger in this bout. He's built up an early lead against the champion Wilfred Benitez.
The jab of Leonard continues to bother Wilfred Benitez, and I think it's a punch that Wilfred thought he would slip a little bit more, but it's getting home for Sugar Ray.
The question I have, Al, is will Benitez become more aggressive as he senses that Leonard is building up a lead, and I think he has to sense that.
I think he may go in a little bit, but again, his forte is to wait for the other guy to come to him. Now, at a certain point, he's going to have to go in.
This is round 6. Benitez was down late in the 3rd round. Benitez a little short with the left-right.
Wilfred lunging a little bit with some of those punches, an indication he's not used to coming forward and chasing somebody. Even though Leonard's not running from him, the height and reach advantage for Leonard being used effectively right now.
But Leonard very quick, good hand speed, good foot speed.
These two fighters are really mirror images of each other in a lot of ways.
Spoke of the good defense of Wilfred Benitez, certainly Sugar Ray Leonard with outstanding defensive work as well.
This round they're mostly exchanging jabs, and really about 80% of them have missed. Here's an example.
Padilla stepping in.
Here's an example, Sam, of how little infighting there is in this fight, and how little work Padilla has had to do.
Does that surprise you at all? I thought Benitez might work more on the inside.
He actually is a pretty good inside fighter and works to the body well, and he has done little body work in this fight. I'm definitely surprised at that. You would think that he would be working Sugar Ray's body a little bit more, but he really can't get there to work it.
Padilla steps in with a caution for the fighters as the heads came together. An unintentional butt on the part of both fighters, the heads coming together and blood coming down the forehead now of Wilfred Benitez, and Carlos Padilla stopping time. And you see the blood trickling down, getting into the right eye and into the mouth of Wilfred Benitez, and they will have to work on that between rounds. Doesn't look like Sugar Ray Leonard has been cut. Benitez with a cut on the forehead from the butt.
And you can see Benitez sensing some urgency, decides he better go to work here, and so they slug it out.
The end of round 6. And they will work on that cut on the forehead of Benitez in his corner.
Those are tough cuts to stop also. Cuts on the forehead, very difficult for cut men to work on. And of course, the blood, as you said, can drip into the eye.
Benitez looks to be okay, looks confident, smiling in his corner. You see the work being done, mostly pressure applied at this point.
That's about all you can do with a cut in that location. And the vision problem it could create for Benitez is really an important one. We'll take a look at the clash of heads here, and I believe it was unintentional. They both came together, clear view of it.
Almost surprised that one of the fighters didn't go down. That was a tremendous collision.
And fortunate for that man, Sugar Ray Leonard, that he didn't suffer a cut from that clash of heads.
I think he was knocked a little bit woozy for a moment. Then he collected his senses, and it was Benitez that referee Carlos Padilla looked at because of that cut. This is round 7, scheduled for 15.
Benitez started to use the left hook more. It's a good punch in his arsenal, and we haven't seen it much in this fight.
That last round, when he got aggressive, Sugar Ray countered very well.
You get the feeling that these fighters have those kinds of flurries in them. It's just that one has to initiate the action to make it happen.
Sugar Ray Leonard coming into this fight with a record of 25-0, 16 knockouts. vaulting into prominence by winning the gold medal in Montreal in 1976. And you see the blood trickling down the forehead of Benitez again. Might be getting into the corner of the eye. It's coming down the nose. But he's not wiping it away, so seems to be okay. Leonard's jab continues to score for him.
There's been a subtle shift here. I really think that Benitez is slipping those punches a little bit better than he was early in the fight. He looks much looser, and in general, defensively at least, is doing a better job. And he's starting, as you see him land a couple left hooks to the body, to pick up the beat a little bit offensively.
A lot more action from Benitez in the 7th round as he tries to really lure Sugar Ray Leonard in so he can counter. He's just standing there, dropping that left hand down, trying to tempt Sugar Ray. Late in round 7. And that left hook blocked nicely by Benitez. The blood continues to come down the forehead of the champion, Wilfred Benitez.
You can see Benitez shaking his left hand. You have to wonder if there isn't some kind of injury there. He's shaking his left hand, and we'll have to see how much he uses that punch.
Sugar Ray Leonard in excellent condition. That blood coming down the forehead of Wilfred Benitez from the butt when the heads bang together in the 6th round, opening up the cut on the forehead of the champion, Benitez. There's a lot of blood coming down now. It's got to be bothering Wilfred Benitez. Benitez has slowed down. After a quick start to the round, he's slowed down late in round 7.
Leonard has reestablished the left jab and also thrown in good left hooks to the body and the head. There he just misses with one to the body.
Final seconds, round 7 for the WBC Welterweight Championship. We'll be right back. Getting set for round 8 of the scheduled 15-rounder. Sugar Ray Leonard on the right. Wilfred Benitez, the champion, on the left. November 30th, 1979 at Caesars Palace. The battle for the WBC Welterweight Championship. And Leonard seems to have the lead. And, of course, concern in the Benitez corner on that cut on the forehead from the collision of heads in the 6th round. And that blood really started to bother Benitez late in that 7th round, Al.
They've stemmed the flow of blood right now, but of course a good jab by Leonard could open it up at any time.
And the jab has been very effective for Sugar Ray Leonard throughout the fight.
Always some concern about the shape that Benitez will come in to a fight in, and in this fight he looks trim, and I think he is in shape for the fight, but he has never really gotten started, I don't think, as well as he'd like.
Wilfred Benitez, who turned pro at the age of 15 6 years ago. Now at age 21, a 2-time world champion. Leonard missing with that right hand. It looked good, drew a few oohs and ahs from the crowd.
Well, this is, let's face it, a defensive struggle. This fight has been won, as I said, it's a chess match, and it's being waged by 2 master boxers, and so not as many punches getting in cleanly as you might often see.
Past the midway point of round 8.